Assalamu alaikum and welcome to INX Prime. Guys, we are just going to continue on with our segment right now. We're actually going to be chatting to Michelle Clarke. Now, she is a dynamic and innovative leader in the field of global leadership coaching and facilitation. Now, she is a seasoned global leadership coach as well as a facilitator with an impressive track record of working with a diverse range of clients, which include correctional services as well as Fortune 500 corporations, to universities in remote coastlines of South Africa, as well as doing mining projects in Chile. Now, her work spans across various industries, including banking, retail, as well as IT. And today we are thrilled to have Michelle join us all the way from Chile. Good evening, Michelle, and welcome to INX Prime Live.
Hi, good evening to you. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you, and thank you so much for joining us all the way out in South America. Michelle, just touching on, before we actually start by, you telling us a little bit about your journey, can you actually tell us how did you become a global leadership coach and facilitator?
Mm. I studied coaching. That is something that we are required to do. It's no longer advisable to simply call yourself a coach. So we are expected to follow some formal qualifications, which I did. The fact that I call myself global is simply because I work globally. So wherever my clients are based, wherever I am based, thank you to technology, we can do the coaching from there.
No, that's brilliant. And I mean, you do some phenomenal work all around the world, without a doubt. Now, you've worked with a wide range of clients in diverse settings, as we mentioned. Can you share some of the most memorable coaching assignments you've had and the impact that it had on the leaders that you've actually worked with?
Mm. Um, I'm so thrilled to say that all of my work is wonderful and diverse. Perhaps the one interesting piece is correctional services, and that was in South Africa, where I was still based there, where we were helping correctional officers to develop skills, to develop higher levels of empathy, um, develop higher self awareness, which is what is important in that space. I've also had the great fortune of working with school principals who are building out a new set of schools out in Kenya. And that project, I think it's been about 7 years since South Africa went into Kenya to build out the schools. And the school is now winning awards, and the students are winning great awards. So the beauty of this work is that it does impact from the leader down to everybody that they are touching in their lives.
No, I love that. And I mean, just touching on, some of your coaching philosophies, I know that personal branding is a very significant part of it. Why do you believe an emotionally intelligent personnel brand or, EQ in that sense is crucial for success?
Mm. We are all of us, what I would say is self-employed, even if we are working or employed by an organization. All of us is accountable to ourselves, and we need to ensure that we are branded in a way that people have a perception of us that enhances our career. The EQ part of it is show up authentically. I think business has evolved, leadership has evolved. The world now wants real, authentic, thriving individuals to come into work and touch people's lives. And so really learning who we are and allowing that brand to create a beautiful perception of ourselves so that people say, I trust that person's logic is sound. Yes, I feel that person and I want to do business with them.
No, that's true. And I mean, it also, if you're looking at EQ and, looking at concepts like innovation and creativity, you want someone to have a lot of those elements when it comes to being a businessman or an entrepreneur in today's time. I just want to touch on the world that we're living in as well, Michelle. I mean, we're looking at, obviously post-COVID, a lot has changed, especially when it comes to concepts like remote working and, a lot of other concepts. But I know you've built a mobile international business and have been working from various locations all around the world. I just wanted to get a better understanding in terms of the challenges and the benefits of running this type of business. You don't have a standalone office where you're stuck in one city for your whole time. You can actually move around. You're more flexible. What are some of the challenges, but also some of the benefits of being in a mobile international business like the one that you're in?
Mm. The benefits are amazing. I'm so thrilled that technology took us this route. I can communicate with people wherever I am in the world as long as I have a solid internet line and as long as I show up on time and people get to communicate with me. So I am at the moment, for example, delivering a piece of training with a colleague into the United Nations, and our delegates are all over the world. They're in Brazil, Syria, Ghana, Peru, and technology is what is enabling all of this ability to bring us all together. The downside of it, I think we will learn over time. I'm curious to see how we're all managing money these days because nothing is happening direct anymore, and we're working through cloud banking. So that it's going to, I think the consequences of the way we're working, we're only going to discover in some years from now while we're all learning in this digital space.
No, without a doubt. And I mean, a lot of people currently are speaking about artificial intelligence, and we're seeing all these big events
Mm,
about AI in particular. I know you're very focused on VR, which is virtual reality, and incorporating
mm,
learning and growth experiences with the concept of VR. I mean, that's very unique, and we don't normally hear about this on a daily basis. Maybe perhaps you can run us through the practical application of something like this.
mm. So I got involved in the VR world during lockdown. And my assumption was that I'm investing in an entertainment device that's going to keep me not being bored in lockdown. However, I discovered that I'm actually not that good at playing games in VR. And so I went to dig deeper into what the possibilities are in the technology. And there is a group of people called Educators in VR who are pioneers in trying to establish what the impact of learning in VR can have on the world. And the studies are remarkable in all kinds of areas: health, skills development, developing empathy. Um, we've learned that experiences inside virtual reality are coded in the body just as if they were a real experience. So
Wow.
inside VR, we're actually building memories. And for example, in one use case, an organization is using VR to put employees into a virtual reality oil rig before they send them out into the ocean. By the time they get to the ocean, they already have the memory and the skills that they've developed in the VR device. I see it as an impactful future using these augmented technologies.
No, I love that. And I can see that you're very passionate about it, even by the way that you do explain it. But I wanted to know, in terms of, staying inspired in the way that you are, how do you manage to do that and also continue to grow in your field while constantly traveling? I mean, traveling all the time and working with clients from different cultures and different backgrounds as well. How do you manage to do that?
I think that that's what keeps me motivated is all the traveling and different people in different backgrounds. And practically, the virtual reality device is my dance studio, and I make sure that I dance every day because we all know that exercise is a huge motivator and really impacts on mindset. The traveling is a joy. The world has provided us with so many gifts in terms of short-term rentals, apps that we can use to travel that book flights and find trains. So it's a very exciting time to be a traveler. The community of digital nomads has blossomed and expanded, and these are people of all ages who are now saying, well, the world is a playground and technology is allowing us to work. So my life is a complete motivation to myself. At some stage, it may be that I tire of it, but right now I'm going really strong.
Love that. I just want to touch on our audience as well. I mean, we're getting a lot of comments and questions coming in from social media. Our audience is loving this conversation. But we're also getting a lot of questions coming in, and I'm guessing comments from people who want to be, doing something very similar to what you do. A lot of leadership coaches and potential leadership coaches, wanting to find out more about it. Just in terms of those aspiring leadership coaches, what advice can you give to them who are looking to build a global practice and incorporate technology into their coaching methods, just like how you did?
Mm. As I said at the beginning of the conversation, it's imperative for anybody who wishes to get into the field of coaching to study it. It's very important. We're many of us under a misconception of what coaching is. So to study it and get clear on what we're doing is important. The social media provides us the most beautiful platform for creating a brand, developing trust. So my recommendation would be to ensure that you are clear on your messaging, the message you'd like to bring to the world, and start to build an audience. Again, we have so many tools available that let us do that. And another beautiful thing, because we're speaking particularly about South Africans, is we are a valued group of people in the world. We have a great reputation for being hard workers. People love our accents, and people are very excited to work with South Africans. So being confident in that knowledge that actually we're very welcome in a global playing field, and we're very skilled to play in that area.
No, I love that. And I mean, just also touching on personal branding, it's so important. We have a really good example in South Africa when we're looking at someone like, there's Batu Shoes, for example, in South Africa. And people talk a lot about how successful Batu Shoes is as a brand. But we also talk about another brand, which is the owner himself, Theo Beloy. And the fact that Theo is actually a brand by himself and he brings in business to Batu, and likewise as well. It's just such a good concept to talk about self-branding as well. But I just wanted to touch on some of your plans for the future. If we are looking at someone who's a visionary and ambitious like you are, I'm sure you have a lot of plans for the future. What are some of those plans and goals for your coaching practice, but also looking at the fact that, technology is consistently changing, right? So we know that VR is a very important role, or plays a very important role for you right now, but maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, it might be something completely different. What are some of your plans for the future when it comes to your practice as well as technology?
I have been moving my business away, the ratio of coaching to facilitation. And I'll just clarify that quickly. So, facilitator is about working with the wisdom in a room and bringing the wisdom in a room out. And so I'm working with a lot of groups. There could be 8 to 10 to 15 to 25 people in a room. And the learning style is to facilitate the wisdom in the room. So I am not teaching, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but bringing out that wisdom. And I believe that that's where we're moving as helping professions, is to have people to learn from one another through this facilitated technique. So I'm leaning deeper into facilitation. I believe that VR is one of our learning platforms for the future. So I'm doing a training course on how to effectively facilitate and coach in the VR. I'm on my way to Europe in a month to give a talk around that, to share what I think. And who knows what 10 years will bring us. I think 5 years ago, we didn't know what 5 years ahead would bring us. I think it's important to be flexible and open and welcoming of what might come our way.
Sounds like a very exciting future ahead, without a doubt. And I wish you all the best. Congratulations again on all that you do. Before we let you go, Michelle, though, there's a lot of South Africans, that are watching, a lot of young people in particular. We have an extremely high unemployment rate in South Africa. A lot of young entrepreneurs and ambitious young entrepreneurs that are starting up their first businesses. What advice do you have for our youth of South Africa, being Youth Month and Youth Day just happening a few days ago?
What a beautiful question. We have got to believe in ourselves. We really have to be the people who have our own back. It's a game of consistency and resilience. And so really Don't give up. Failure in any form is not a failure. It's no reason to give up. It's a learning curve. We brush off and we go again. We have to believe in ourselves.
I love that. That was very powerful. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us tonight on INX Prime Live.
I thank you so much for having me on INX Prime Live.
No, you're most welcome. Guys, that is Michelle Clarke, who is actually a global leadership coach, a facilitator, as well as a speaker, and someone who works with multiple different individuals and companies like Fortune 500 companies, but also correctional services as well, just trying to be able to, improve the lives of the people that they work with and impact, but also using virtual reality and technology as well. Now, on that note, we are going to take a quick ad break. We'll come right back.